Hi, Stapo here. In the AV industry, we're used to setting up interfaces for the end user to be able to control our system. But today, I'm going to show you a few ways that I like to set up my Q-SYS designer schematic pages to kind of make it more like a technician's user interface. It makes my life easier, not just during the commissioning stage of the project, but also to help me narrow down faults quickly when troubleshooting in the future. Let's have a look.
As a design file grows and we get more inputs and outputs in our system, building a file that can be easily read becomes much more important. A simple step here is to change the properties of the components using custom labels and colors so you can easily identify them, plus physically separating them and using any of the graphic tools on the right side pane goes a long way in making a much cleaner design file. Combine this with using clear and simple signal names and the file instantly becomes much easier for anyone to read. Another thing that I like to do is drag out the main controls from a component onto my schematic. This gives me clear visibility and access to the signal flow in my system, while also minimizing the number of components I need to open to find this information. For instance, dragging meters from input and output components gives you quick feedback of where audio is flowing. And, much like a fader, you can turn them horizontal by making them wider than they are taller, which allows me to place them alongside the specific I/O that they represent. We can do this for control access as well. For instance, with a gain component, we only ever really use the gain and mute controls. In the same way we may add controls to the UCI for the end user, we can drag and drop these out on the schematic page, adjust their properties, and setting them with their parent component, giving us full visibility of the current state of this component without ever having to open it up. If we apply this process to all the inputs and outputs of our design, we end up with a very clear user control interface for our technical teams, allowing anyone to look at this design file and understand the system. It's worth noting here, to make this build easier, if you make a duplicate of a control with the parent component it originally came from, then the new instances will continue that relationship. By selecting the group of controls and pressing Alt while clicking and dragging, you can quickly duplicate the newly created layout.